back to my channel. I know what you're thinking, and no, this isn't just another clickbait title. I actually am happy that I got acne. And I'm glad that I don't have perfect skin, and I'm glad that I still get breakouts. Do you ever have something happen to you, and at the time it feels really lousy, and it feels super unfair, and you just can't ever see there being a light at the end of the tunnel? This is a time when things get really dark for you, and you feel like you've lost yourself, and you feel like your mind starts going places that it's never gone before and you never thought it would go before. And you think to yourself, this is it. This is rock bottom. This is where I am. If you've ever been to that place, you know where it is I'm talking about. You know that it's a scary place. But you also know, coming back from that place, that it changes you. And it changes your entire perspective on everything. It makes you appreciate the life you had before, and it makes you appreciate the life you have now. Some people may think it's silly for me to say this, but I think that this was my rock bottom. This picture, this precise moment, the time I took this photo and I turned it around and I looked at the photo of myself, that was the time that commemorated literal rock bottom for me. I had a lot going on in my life at this time. I wasn't where I wanted to be, where I thought I'd be. I had this grander plan of what kind of person I thought I'd be at that point in my life, and I was nowhere near that point. And so when this happened, it was like the last straw. And I knew that it was rock bottom for me because from here, I had nowhere to go but up. You have to remember that I wasn't always the person that I am today. I was once very different. And if you ask my friends and family what I was like at that time, what kind of person I was, I'm sure that they would all tell a very similar story to each other, and I'm sure that it will be a similar story to what I'm about to tell you now. I was mean, cold-hearted, selfish, narcissistic, bossy, rude, vain, arrogant, and egotistical. So imagine what that kind of person looks like to you. And imagine a person like that getting something as severe as the acne that I got. This wasn't just a little blow to my ego. This was huge, gigantic, monumental. My whole world came crashing down. Because at this time in my life, all of my confidence, arrogance, was tied up in my appearance. To have my vanity, the only thing I did have, taken from me with a full face of acne, it left me empty. If you ask me now, I would say that I was empty anyway. I was a shell of a human being before. But when I got acne, I was somehow less than empty. I was in the red. So now I was this meek, shy, self-conscious, kind of shut-in. So when I hit rock bottom, I had two options. I could allow myself to stay trapped in this perpetual, depressive rock bottom, or I could build myself back up. And so I chose the latter option. And so I was ready to do all of the hard work to put all of the blocks back together. But this allowed me a unique opportunity to be someone different, to build those blocks into a different person, somebody who I wanted to be. It would have been so easy to just build myself up back into the same person that I was before, to not have been shaken or changed by the experience. I wouldn't have had to learn any new habits. I would have just been able to fall back into my old habits of who I used to be. But the experience changed me and gave me a different outlook on life. It allowed me to see things from a different perspective. Kind of like I was the bully being in the bullied shoes. And I don't know if anybody can ever come back from an experience like that and go back to being that bully or being that bad person. I think an experience like that, putting ourselves in somebody else's shoes, even though they were my own shoes, it changes us to the point where we can't go back. So I decided that I would build somebody different. I would build somebody better. And it took a long time. For a while, I was running on zero self-worth and zero self-confidence. But eventually it came back. I learned to be confident again, not the way I was confident before. I learned to love myself again, not the way I had loved myself before, but in a different way, in a better way. I also learned to appreciate things more, to not take moments or people or myself for granted. And I learned not to sweat the small stuff and that bad times won't last. I also learned the importance of practicing mindfulness and practicing being grateful. It's not enough to say we're grateful. You have to feel grateful. You have to practice the act of being grateful. And you know, some people might say that I would still be the person I am today, just a little bit different, even if I hadn't gotten acne. But to tell the truth, I don't know if I would have ever gotten the opportunity to rebuild myself or become the person that I am today if I hadn't gotten acne. If I hadn't gotten acne, I would still be the person I was before. And not the better person that I like to think I am today. Not to mention, I wouldn't have gotten to share my experience with the world. I wouldn't have gotten to use that experience to help others get through their rock bottom, and I wouldn't have met so many amazing people along the way. And that's why I'm happy that I got acne. And you know, I'm not only happy that I got acne, I'm happy that I still get breakouts and that my skin isn't perfectly clear. I still deal with hormonal and stress breakouts, and they serve as an important reminder to me to stay humble and stay true to myself, who I am deep down, as cliche as that sounds. Do I wish some days that I didn't break out and that my skin was perfectly clear, you know, those days where I have somewhere important to be and I get a big pimple on my face? Sure, sometimes it would be easier, but I don't like doing things the easy way. My breakouts keep me grounded. And every day I wake up and there's a new pimple on my chin, or I get a big pimple in the middle of my forehead. It serves as a gentle reminder to not forget the lessons that I've learned, and that no matter how far I come from that point, no matter how many years pass, to never lose sight of who I was when I had acne and who I am now, and to applaud myself for how far I've come, but also to remind myself that what I learned is a lesson I may never get a second time. So yes, I'm glad that I got acne. I'm glad I still get breakouts. Without darkness, we wouldn't be able to appreciate the light. Without the rain, we wouldn't be able to appreciate the sun. And without bad, unhappy times, we wouldn't be able to appreciate the good and happy times. I know it may seem corny, and some of you may be thinking that I'm just trying to turn a negative into a positive, and in a way I am. I think that without making my acne experience in some way feel like a positive experience for me, I wouldn't have been able to grow. I can keep looking back at it as a negative experience, I can get upset when I look back at it and I see these photos of myself with acne, or I can make it a positive experience, a learning experience, a teachable moment. And that's another thing I learned from my experience, that there's always a silver lining. And that's why I wear this necklace around my neck. It's the Tree of Life. And I know that that has different meanings, you know, to certain cultures and stuff like that. To me, and for what I've gone through, it stands for growth. And it reminds me that I've grown and that I'm better than who I was yesterday and the day before that and the day before that, and that I'm still growing, that I've got, you know, many more years of growth before me, and that I want to grow in a positive way. The tree also reminds me, with its roots, to stay grounded, to stay humble and true and close to who I am, and all of those corny things, but it's true. I feel like this tree symbolizes my growth as a person, and that's why I keep it close. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on all of my social media, that's linked below in the description. Check out my ebook and my website, which is also below in the description. Leave any comments, questions, video ideas, suggestions, anything in the comment section below. And most importantly, don't forget to love yourself every step of the way.